Hey, it's Friday. Oh my God, is it ever Friday? So, something I wanted to share that with my fellow teachers out there. I keep playing my hair. Good Lord, it's getting long. So something new that we did today in class with something old that we've been using for a long time. We've been using Quizlet for quite some time now to practice our vocabulary words and to gain mastery of those terms. And also, so it's not just vocabulary, terms and definitions for like words like robust or omen, but also it's vocabulary for content stuff like personification, indirect characterization, direct characterization, connotation. Normally what happens is if you do Quizlet live, everybody's put into random teams and each person has a few of the answers, but not all the answers on their screen. And when the question comes up or when the definition comes up, they have to identify if they have the right term or not. So usually they get to sit with their teams and they can work off each other's computer screens. Sometimes I like to make it a challenge and set it up so that they can't sit next to each other. They have to focus only on their screen so that they know if they have the right answer or not. But they can't tell anybody else if the other person has it. So if it says, the way the author makes the reader feel, or the feeling of a piece created by the author, if that's going to be the mood, then they have to identify if they have that answer. And if they don't, they have to sit there quietly and see if their teammate can identify it. Well, today what we did was they had all these different challenges where the first one was they could not communicate with each other. The second one was they could, in the next round, they can only communicate with a team member if that team member happened to be sitting at their table. And then it grew to you could communicate with your team members, but you could not sit next to them. So if you were across the room, you had to be able to call out across the room what the answers were. Another one was one person from each group had to go sit out in the hallway, so only a few kids could communicate, and the other kids were kind of left in the dark regarding everything. Then we had one where everybody had to face the wall and had to communicate with each other, but they could not look at one another, so they were calling from across the room to each other for it. It became complete and total chaos, but the best part is that it was reflective of if you had stress anxiety, if you had test anxiety or test stress. The kids started to realize that if they were in a state of high anxiety or stress or frustration, how did they find their way to that answer? And so they're able to find their answer by either communicating more clearly with each other, or if they were not able to communicate and other people were, they had to sit there quietly and try to focus on the task at hand. So it was recreating test anxiety in a safe setting. And then for the last period, because they were able to get through it a little bit further than the other ones because of the way it was set up, I think, they finished theirs off with one more quiet one where they could not communicate with each other to bring it back to that solidarity component to it. It was so freaking cool. They did such a great job with it. And it was a great learning point for myself as a teacher because I got to see how kids reacted to those situations and taught them through it. So they were studying all this stuff for their final. At the same point in time, trying to increase their ability to persevere during a time of stress and anxiety, and then also learn to effectively communicate with each other in a team sense. It's pretty fun stuff. I was really proud of them today. And then we ended each class with them recording a reader's theater so that we did it in a more professional setup where we had like a microphone in the middle of the table. We recorded each scene. They had to work on their voicing, their characterization, their ability to effectively communicate, to have a clear tone of voice and to make sure that their tone matched that of the characters. And then once we edit these things for publication, I can post them and then set them out there for the general public to listen to so that therefore we can now have a read aloud created by the students. I'll tell you, man, teaching can be super stressful at times, and there are many, many days when you feel like either climbing the walls or running straight through them. But it was one of those days where I'm kind of like, all right, this is why we do this. Because there was one class where I had to actually like lay into them for about a good 5-10 minutes because of what happened in a previous class period with another teacher with a substitute, and remind them of the fact that, your actions have a major effect on other people. And how you come together as a group is going to define you as an individual. And, taught them about when I was in 8th grade and how we drove substitute teachers out in droves because of what happened with one of our teachers and how she treated one of the students, and we kind of rallied around this student, and then anybody who came in that classroom for us became the enemy. I'm like, that was the wrong thing for us to do. We did not handle that well when I was a child. And the teacher who remained with us was a very sweet person who was new to teaching, who saw beyond our difficulties and helped bring us back to becoming more human again. However you are with people, that's going to determine how you are as a person, as an individual. So, anywho, blah, 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 blah. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. I'm planning on doing the same thing myself, whatever that looks like. I'm just going to completely enjoy it, each moment, one moment at a time. All right, so thanks for hanging out today. Find your creative spirit. Embrace this life that we have today. Hey, Pops, what's up? Hi to everybody out there. Enjoy your time with each other, or even if you're by yourself, enjoy your time alone. It's the only time we got, so embrace it. Peace out.